This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Hello everyone once again. My name is Mufazzal, and I work at the Digital Education Development Center in the Department of Attracting Talented Youth to the IT sector. So as the name itself suggests, you can understand that our main goal is to attract and support interest of young people to the IT sector. And one of the ways of doing this is competitive programming. So today we have a special guest with us, Paulina Zeleznik from Poland, and we are truly grateful that she accepted our invitation and is taking the time to share her experience with our audience. So the goal of today's webinar is to learn more about her journey, challenges that she faced, the preparation methods she used, and the lessons she learned along the way. So if you have any questions, you can write in the comments, and we will also answer to that. So before we start, I would like to once again thank you, Paulina, for joining us today. And to start our conversation, could you please introduce yourself and tell us how your journey in competitive programming first began and so on?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to this webinar. And as you said, I'm Paulina Zeleznik. I'm from Poland. I finished high school last year, and right now I'm a first year student at the University of Wrocław in Poland. Also, it's my university in my hometown, so very close to all of my friends, and I really love it there. And my journey in competitive programming, and I think like in programming in general, started when I was in 7th grade. So that was, oh my god, so long ago. Like maybe like 7 years or 8. I don't really know. But yeah, a long time ago. But I was doing a lot of math before. I was very into math. I was solving a lot of math problems. I even went to some international competitions when I was in some very first years in school. And I really loved solving problems. And when I learned that you can also program and also solve problems, that was a very like natural shift for me from math to competitive programming and programming in general, because it was just a thing that I really liked. And I don't know, like telling your computer to do something and the computer doing it or not, it was very fascinating for me. So yeah, that's how I began programming, and yeah, I'm doing it ever since. So yeah.
So at your first, like when you started interested in the informatics, like you immediately started like competing in the EGOI?
Oh no! So in Poland we have our like Polish National Olympiad, and it's meant for high schoolers. But we also have Polish Junior Olympiad, and it's meant for students till 8th grade. So when I learned about the like programming and competitive programming in 7th grade, I competed in this Junior Olympiad, and I competed also on my 8th year, and then I also competed in the Polish Olympiad informatics. But the first time I went to EGOI was during my 9th grade, so 2 years after I started programming. So yeah, it took a while for me to learn enough to actually qualify to EGOI.
Yeah, but it still went well, you know. You got gold and then silver from them.
Yeah.
So now today we're gonna know the secret of this.
Okay.
Okay, my first question actually for you. There are so many Olympiads in informatics, and Uzbekistan can participate in few of them, like IOI, AGOI, ICPC, right? Maybe the others like CEOI, I think, and they
Mm-hmm.
are often referred by their competition styles, like IOI style and then ICP style. How would you describe, how would you explain the difference between these two styles to the student who's hearing these names for the first time?
Okay. So these are basically just two different types of like formats of program contests. And the simplest way to think about it is IOI style is something you do alone, and ICPC style you do in a team of 3. And also, like EGOI is mostly meant for high schoolers or maybe even younger, and ICPC is for students and people who are on like university journey right now. But also, like in EGOI style contests, like EGOI itself, EGOI, the Junior Olympiad, or also, as you mentioned, COI, you sit at your own computer, you solve everything by yourself. And the nice part is you usually get partial points also. So most problems are split into subtasks. So even if you can solve the whole thing, you can still grab points for like the easier cases, for like, I don't know, like some very easier cases just. And it's normally 2 days and around 3 problems per day, 5 hours each day. So you are alone, you have 2 days and like small amount of problems each day. But ICPC style is pretty different. You are like usually a team of 3, a team of max 3 people, but you only get 1 computer. So a big part of it, like participating in ICPC style contest, is a strategy. Who codes, who reads the problems, who solves the problems, and when to swap between those jobs. And there are usually no partial credit at all. So your solution either passes every test or you get like 0 points for it. So that's also very hard because like, I don't know, you can solve for like easier cases, but you can't get any credit for it. So that's also very hard. And there are also usually a lot of problems, like 10 or more. And you just try to solve as many as you can. And the ranking is by how many you solve, and then ties are broken by time. So also, like, you are meant to solve as many problems as you can, but you also want to optimize how quickly you can solve them, and like how many like wrong submission did you submitted, because that's also counted for like penalty. It's called penalty. So yeah, in like short version, iOS is solo partial points and fewer but usually harder problems. And ICPC is team, and you get 0 or 1 for a problem, lots of problems, and only 1 computer.
So in ICPC style, does it matter if your team like solves first problem and first than other teams? Does it give any points?
It usually doesn't, but I mean, you get like if you are the first team who solved the problem like first, you usually get a nicer balloon, because on ICPC style like contest, if you are on site, they usually give balloons for like every problem you solved. So yeah, if you are like a first problem solver, then you usually get like a, I don't know, like a shinier balloon or like a slightly different color or something like that. So, and like on some competitions, you also have like small rewards. For example, on World Finals, you get a prize reward if you are a first solver of a problem. So that also can be a part of your strategy to not always go for the problems that other teams solved, but maybe you can like try to go through a different path, and yeah, go get this like prize. Money prize.
It's like motivating the teams to solve first. And which one do you think is harder? Like
I think
ICPC style.
I think ICPC style for sure. Like the strategy is so hard sometimes to predict, and I think like that was like my team's problem on one of the competitions. That, for example, if you are very focused on one problem, and you know that you are very close to the solution, but you are constantly debugging it, you are basically just blocking the computer. And like other teammates can't really code anything because you are debugging this problem. So that's very hard to sometimes, I don't know, tell this one person who's blocking the computer to just back off and, and like, I don't know, take the computer from them. So that's very hard. Also, like, if you do badly on the ICPC style contest, you can't really blame it on anyone because, like, it's a team effort. So, like, you don't really know if you did, like, well or bad because, like, everything is made by team. And if you're participating solo, then if you do badly, then I don't know, you know that your strategy was bad, and maybe you just didn't know like this type of problems or something like that. So like I think ICPC is harder for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And also, there might be conflict between the teams, right? Between your teammates.
Could you repeat, please?
Also, there can be conflict between your teammates.
Oh yeah, they can be.
There's a question asking like, is solo allowed?
Yeah, I mean, you can participate in I mean, it's not really recommended because like it's always better to have teammates because you can't really solve every problem in the world, but maybe your teammates can. So it's always better to have as many people as you can, so max 3. But I mean, the regulations are you can have max 3 people, so you can always participate alone if you want. Or maybe like, for example, if your teammates are sick or something like that. So what do you do then? Like if they're in the hospital, like do they disqualify you? Probably not, because like you're still a team. But yeah.
I didn't know that solo was allowed, to be honest. Okay, can we now to the move to the second question?
Okay.
We know that you have participated in IOI style and ICP style competitions, and we would like to learn more about your preparation for EGOI. When did you start preparing? How did you prepare? What topics and resources you used? What was your daily routine, maybe, and which contests you participated, and so on?
Okay, so to be fair, my training wasn't strictly aimed for EGOI. It was more just like generally getting better at solving problems over the whole year. And EGOI was one of the things I was heading toward, but I wasn't doing like something special for something like special like EGOI plan or something like that. And I was mostly just building up my skills, and then naturally helped me like when EGOI came around. And the main thing I did was solve problems for previous Olympiads, not just like from one place, but from all over the world. I went through past problems for like the big international ones, like IOI, COI, and like other EGOI editions that I didn't participate in, so just one. And also a lot of national Olympiads from, as I said, different countries. And that turned out to be like really useful because every country has its own style and difficulty. So you see a much wider range of ideas than if you stick to one source. And like it really matters to like international Olympiads because like for international Olympiads, people from around the world can submit problems. So every country has probably like their own style or like their favorite problems or something like that. So it's always very good to know, like, I don't know, how Japanese people do problems or something like that. And I found it very, very nice to learn about it. And topic-wise, I focus on things that show up the most. So, like, I don't know, dynamic programming or graphs and data structures, binary search, obviously, like greedy. And yeah, I solved a lot of DP problems, if I am honest, and a lot of interactive tasks because when I was competing, that was very like, I don't know, in fashion, I would say. Like there were a lot of interactive tasks on a lot of competitions, and I still see this trend. So especially on EGOI, there was at least one interactive task per day. So we like before the competition, you probably already know one fourth of the tasks that are on the competition. So that's also very useful to be good at the problems. You know, probably for sure that they will happen on the competition. And my routine wasn't like anything crazy. On a normal day, I would just solve a couple of problems, maybe during school or maybe on the way to school because I was living very far from my school. So like when I was like, I don't know, on the tram, I was just reading the problems for code forces or editorials. And to be honest, I wasn't very paying attention in school. So I was also like scribbling something on my paper on one of my notebooks and solving problems. Teachers didn't really praise that, but I mean, like the lessons also weren't very interesting. So that was my way to to avoid like listening. So I was just solving the problems. And yeah, so also very important part about like preparing is absolving. So when I had time, like during weekends, or when I had like very short day at school, I was doing like some virtual contests. I don't know. I was writing a day like from some national Olympiad, and I like saw how well I did like on their nationals, and then like I tried to absolve the problems that I didn't solve during the problems. And I think that's the like where most of my improvement came from, like doing actual contests, because like you can't do well on the contest if you don't practice writing contests before.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah, so I was doing a lot of problems, a lot of like virtual contests, especially before EGOI. I think like before EGOI, like for the 3 weeks before EGOI, I was doing mostly virtual contests, like one per day maybe, or like I don't know, one per 2 days. But it was very intense, I would say. So yeah, so that's really important. But yeah, apart from the like national or international problems, I did like some code forces also, some AdCoder problems, and they are very good problems, and I strongly recommend them because I mean there are a lot of them, so everyone will find something for themselves. And I also went to a lot of camps, and I think I was most productive during them. So I also recommend going on some camps, even if they're like online. If you can do on site, then participating offline is also very good.
You gave a lot of good information, I think.
Yeah, if I was too fast, then I mean, you can tell me if like I meant to say slower things or something.
No, that's okay. They are just all useful informations, like
Okay.
especially for me.
Okay.
There's actually a question asking. I don't think
Okay.
you have. You said that you haven't participated in IOI, so I will say that it's IOI style. So, what is the strategy during IOI style contests? How to stay constantly motivated and don't lose faith?
Okay. So um, I actually lost faith a lot of times during the competitions I participated in, because like there is no magic trick to just stay motivated and like hoping for a better like score or idea or something like during the contest. But like if you if you write virtual contests at home, you get kind of used to a feeling of writing a contest, and you can kind of like get used to that. I don't know, like in the middle of the contest you have no ideas, but then like something happens and then you have ideas. So I think being consistent and writing virtual contests is a way to build this kind of like reassurance that you will do great during the contest. And I think my strategy during the IOI style contest was definitely read all of the problems before actually coding anything. Because like if you read a problem and you know for sure that you can solve it, but then I don't know, like 2 hours pass or like 3 hours pass or something like that, then you probably won't do like anything else in the contest. You will just code this one problem, and you probably didn't read like the other problems. So for the first hour, I really tried not to touch my keyboard. I mean, this may be not very helpful, but like I was really trying to, for this first hour, actually think about every problem for like 20 minutes, and then I switched to like have like kind of an idea what this problem is about, what partial points I can get, and yeah, to just kind of try to find the easiest problem during the contest, because like a lot of problems are different, and you probably, if you write a contest, there's no reassurance that you will solve at least one problem, and sometimes you just have to find the one that like suits you best. And that's that's important strategy, to not think all the contests that you can always solve all three tasks.
Okay. Actually, I think that's one of the like biggest problems, not reading the question full. And then like I asked actually other mentors from our camps, and the first thing that they were saying is actually reading the question full. Because like you read a few sentences and you think that you know the answer, and then you type your code and so on, and then the answer is wrong and you try to do it so on, and like you try to debug it while your solution might be wrong. So that's a good useful information actually. Okay, there's another question. What was the qualification process for EGOI and others in Poland? But okay, by the way, as I have seen you got lots of Mass Olympiads medals, can you share your experience on which theoretical fields from European style Mass Olympiads intersect with the coding tasks?
Okay, so I will first say something else for the previous question, because like one of my teachers always said that think twice before coding 3 times. So so that's a funny thing to think about the contest. So now back to the question. So the first part, what was the qualification process for EGOI and not there is in Poland? So in Poland we have 3 stages. We have one online stage when everyone can start, and this stage lasts for like 2 months, I think, or something. Like you're given 5 problems and you are solving these 5 problems for 2 months. And after this first stage, you have one on-site stage, and you are given 2 problems 2 days. But the most important part about this stage is that usually you see the results. Like when you submit a problem, you see that you got like, I don't know, accepted or wrong answer and the number of points. But during this stage, like all of your submissions are kind of hidden, and you only after the contest find out how many points do you have. So that's very, very stressful, and that's why we have 2 problems for 5 hours, because like if you solve those 2 problems, you have like the other like 3 hours or something to testing the problems, to writing like some incorrect solution to test your solution with. So that's, I think, the most stressful stage in our Polish Olympiad. I was also, because like if you're very sure for your solution sometimes, but like after the contest you probably missed like, I don't know, one edge case, and then your solution is like getting 0 points or something like that. So that's very stressful. And then we have final stage, and to the final stage 100 people qualify, and it's on site. It's as close to IOI as possible. We have 3 tasks, difficulty very similar to like IOI, Baltic Olympiad or something like that. And we have 5 hours each day and 2 days. And after those 2 days, all of our representations are chosen. So yeah, top 4 girls are going to EGOI, top 4 guys are, not guys, but top 4 people are going to IOI, and top 5 people are going to COI, and then top 6 people from not like last year from high school are going to Baltic Olympiad. So that's how we qualify. And then there's a question about math Olympiads. Can you share your experience on which theoretical fields from European style math Olympiads intersect with coding tasks? I think ad hoc, definitely. So ad hoc tasks are the tasks that you don't really use any algorithm at all. You just have to have a good idea. And I think some of the math problems are this way, that you don't really have to know a lot of theory and a lot of like, I don't know, lemmas or something like that. You just have to have a good idea and then go with this idea. And I think this is a very big intersection with the coding tasks, because you also can't really train them. You can train yourself to think about the ideas, but there sometimes also happen on the international national stages that you don't really have to use any algorithm at all. You just have to, or maybe like some easy one like binary search or something. But like your idea is the most important part in the process. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I think too.
Okay.
Okay, I think there's no other questions. Then I will move to another one.
Okay.
So the third question actually is the same as the second one, but it's
Mhm.
about ICPC. So how did you prepare for the ICPC? How same like what topics, which resources, what was your daily routine? Also, you have to find team, right? So I think it will take more time than IOI style.
Mhm. So yeah, ICPC was a very different story because it's a team contest. So a lot of preparations was with my teammates. So you train on your own, but then you probably want to test how you do in a team, how you perform in a team, how you like I don't know match skills with your teammates, or like when to swap, or like you just try to think about the strategy during those virtual contests. And uh, like during the team contest, you can be a strong individual solver, but you can still do badly if a team like if your team doesn't work well together.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
so it's very hard to actually find those 5 hours that like everyone has time. So so yeah. So besides like solving problems by yourself, yeah, like again like code forces plus like some ICPC past contests from like different regional contests, which has like a lot of old regionals and world finals problems. Or also the team practices. So yeah, as I said, sitting together one computer and doing a full 5 hour simulation of a real contest. So that's when we thought about the strategy and other stuff. And as I said, like this part really matters because you learn about your teammates, and you can't really learn about like your teammates' abilities outside of writing those contests together. And yeah, that's how we practiced.
So for the topics, you used the topics that were from last year.
So the topics are pretty similar to Iowa style problems
Oh,
and like topics. So like as I said, like graphs, like DP, like I mean diagram programming, like data structures. Also on ICPC, there is also geometry. There is usually one geometric problem on almost every contest. So you probably want to have one teammate who is good at geometry. Yeah, like number theory and so on. But also ICPC is a little different from IOI because you don't have to remember all of the algorithms. Usually, you are allowed to bring your own paper and your own notes. We call it a library, a code library. You can have like all of your algorithms written on this paper and just type it on the computer whenever you want. So you can have like some crazy algorithms on this paper. You don't really have to remember anything. You just have to think how to put it to this problem you're given. So that's also very useful.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. I thought that everything would be given to you.
No, that's actually very useful because, like, for example, like I don't know if you don't remember the whole implementation to some hard algorithm, you are not wasting time on debugging this part, like this specific algorithm. You are just debugging your solution. So
Yeah,
that's very cool.
that's true. And how did you allocate the tasks for your team? Did you uh like change it all the time? Like one person typing the codes and another one I don't know, like giving the ideas, maybe something like this.
So I was
How did it work?
participating like yeah, so I was participating in ICPC style with two different teams actually. And in one of my teams, we had a very fast typer. Like he's super fast. I don't know him, but he's like so fast. So at the beginning of the contest, um, he was writing like our like improvements to the compiler or anything like our like defines or something. He was just writing it so we can be faster when we actually want to code. And in the meantime, me and my other teammate was reading the problems. Like one of us were reading from the front, and one of us were reading from the back, so we don't read the same problems. And whenever we have like some idea, we just tell this person who is writing to move, and we are coding now. So at the beginning of the contest is very important, because you want to be this one team who finds the easiest task. Because on the ICPC side problems, there is usually one task that is very easy and that is meant for every team to be solved. So if it's meant for every team to be solved, you probably want to be this one team who solves it first, or maybe like very fast. So we try to find this one. They are probably very, like, they have short statement maybe or something like that. And also, like, after those preparations that we did, so the virtual contest, we knew like which types of problems we like. So for example, I like dynamic programming problems and graphs. So if my teammates read the problem and he see that it's a graph, then he like leaves it on my side of the table for me to read later. And like if I see geometry, I leave it for my other teammate, because I can read the geometry, but I know one of my teammates is very good at it. So we try to kind of split the problems. So when we are stuck, we are trying to read the problems that are like our types of problems, kind of. And when we are like really, really stuck, we try to think about the problems together and try to think about the ideas. And usually also we try to check our solution with the other teammate, especially if he read the problem before, to just like proofread our solution and make sure that we don't occupy the computer for longer than needed and occupy the computer for implementing the solution that is wrong. So that's also important to have like this type of communication between your teammates.
Yes, but in iOS style, you cannot do that. Like, I mean, you are
Yeah.
and you should know the time. Like, if you are reading the first question and you can like trying to solve it and you still like couldn't solve it, you should move on to another one, right? So there should be like timing to move on, right? So how do you actually solve questions in EGOI, for example? I mean,
So EGOI is easier than other iOI style contests, because the problems are usually sorted by the difficulty. So you know which task is easiest to solve. The organizer said that this task is easier, so it's easiest for the organizers, but maybe it's not really for the for the participants. So on EGOI, you usually try to go from the easiest to the hardest. And my strategy was to solve quickly the first problem, because I knew I could solve it, and then try to think about the next problem. And if I can solve it, then try to read the third problem, and then try to move from one to another. Because like the deep problem, the last problem, the hardest one, is usually not solved by anyone on the contest. So I was mostly going from the like B to C, and then try to implement like the partial points if I can think about the solution. But I usually really try to go for some time for the full solution. But sometimes you also feel that you will definitely not solve it, and then you should, like, I don't want to say you should give up on solving the full problem, but sometimes it's good to think realistically about what you can do, what you can't do, and try to optimize the number of points you have. So you don't really want to feel attached to some problem and to some code. So you feel free to put your code in the trash and then start over. That's a very, I think, good tip, to not feel attached to anything you coded during the contest.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. There's someone asking for your teacher's Codeforces profile. So is it like okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay, wait, I have to find him. Wait, I was not on Codeforces for so long. Since the last competition, actually. Okay. That's actually a funny story, because this guy, like he was my teacher for so long, but then he was my teammate on the
wow.
so that was also very funny because like he was my teacher for like 2 years or something, but then he was my teammate. So it was a very like drastic shift, I would say.
Then I
But
would
yeah,
say he's a good teacher.
yeah, he is. Like he's awesome.
That's good to have a teacher like him, I think. Okay, another question. Do you have any personal tips or tricks or contest habits that helped you perform better in Olympiads and that you think our competitive programmers should know? Like your own maybe tips.
Hmm. So as I said before, like if you're participating in IOI style contest, you should definitely read all the problems. I said it before, but I want to say it again because like it's super super important. And because people you sometimes dive into problem and don't notice there were easier one at, like somewhere else.
Yes.
And I personally did it at like Polish national stage. I was coding the middle in difficulty problem, and I totally missed the easiest one. So I'm speaking from my own experience that it's very harsh to learn after the competition that there was a very easy problem somewhere else and you just didn't notice. So yes, also like try to not get stuck on some problem, because like if you are starting with no progress, then you should probably switch to another one and then come back later, because your brain maybe keeps working on it in the background and then you think about it about a solution later. Like this is also for ACPC style. Like for example, I was participating with my team on European regional contest, and one of my teammates thought about a problem, a geometry problem, and he told us at the beginning of the contest that he knows the solution. Like for sure, like this solution is totally working, and he was occupying the computer for 3.5 hours out of 5 hours. So we were very like, I wouldn't say mad at him, but like we were a little disappointed because like after those 3.5 hours, he just basically told us that his solution is not working and like unlucky, and we had 1 hour to think about other problems. So that was a little stressful, I would say. So I don't recommend doing that. And like don't like yeah, so don't get stuck and don't get really attached to your solution, because like sometimes it's just not it's definitely. And yeah, also like if you're coding, you should definitely test your submission before submitting. Like a lot of people are thinking about the solution and then code it and then just submit it, but maybe you missed like some small edge cases and you're just waiting a submission, when you should just like, I don't know, test some really small edge cases. And you don't really want to miss a lot of points because of those like small little edge cases. Also, you should try to stay motivated during the contest. So not try to feel down after like, I don't know, half of the contest went by and you have nothing. Like you probably think it's nothing, but if the contest is hard, then it's hard for everyone. So that's also, I think, to keep in mind that like sometimes like contests are hard and that's how they are, and you don't have to focus that, I don't know, you did bad or you did well. Like contests are contests, so you just have to like go with
you
them.
still have chance.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my last question for you. Wait a second. Okay. Poland. We know that Poland has been producing outstanding results in international informatics competitions for many years. From your perspective, what are the most important factors behind Poland's success in Olympiad programming?
Okay, so I think it's actually a few things together. There was just not one magic trick that made Poland so good at the competitions. I think the first thing is tradition. Like Poland has been doing this for a very long time, so there is a whole culture around it. There are a lot of camps. a strong and well organized like our national Olympiad. There are a lot of online materials by Polish people. People are just very attached to like competitive programming, and they really want to improve the younger generations. And a lot of Polish people are also staying in Poland for university because we have at least 3 very good universities, and there are a lot of people after competitive programming are going there. So a lot of good people are then teaching the younger generation, the high schoolers, about their experience and other stuff. So that's also very important. Also, as someone asked the question on the chat, the math and our education are also important. Like a lot of strong competitive programmers come from a solid math background, and Poland has good math Olympiad traditions as well. So the two fit into each other, and a lot of people are competing on EGOI and also on IMO at the same time. So I think the last thing I would say is a very big community around competitive programming. Like during my years when I participated, I met so many people from around Poland. Like it's so crazy that I have so many friends from this one community, and I think it's very beautiful to have this kind of people around you that are interested in the same thing as you are. And yeah, I really love this community.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Okay, thank you for answering all my questions. That was all my questions. And I will ask the audience if you have any questions. Also, Paulina, could you like share any resources for practicing? It can be from Poland, maybe any site that is like Codeforces, maybe.
Yeah. Wait, I will give the link to the chat. I don't know if they will stay on the chat after the competition. So for international tasks, I mostly use this site, oi.us. It has a lot of problems. They are all in English, and like they have Japanese tasks that are very, very good, but very, very hard. So there are also some Polish problems there, like very few, but there are. I will also send link to a Polish site that we use. Okay, most of the problems there are in Polish, but I really recommend looking at the Polish national problems. I mean, some of them are so good, and like if you have time and strong LLM, like I don't know, on your computer, then you can probably just translate them and try to code it. And yeah, Codeforces at Coder, obviously. And I think that was all of the sites I used for learning. So I really recommend them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
I don't think there are other questions. Let me ask them in Uzbek. It's okay, right?
Okay.
Yana qanaqadir savolingiz bo'lsa yozib qoldirishingiz mumkin. Bo'lmasa unda vebinarimizni tugatamiz. Yana savolingiz bormi? So I don't think there are any questions. Okay. Paulina, thank you a lot for agreeing, for accepting my request to do this webinar, for sharing your knowledge, experience. We got a lot of useful information, I'll be honest. Thank you a lot.
Here you go. Thank you for the invitation once again. Yeah, it was lovely. Like if you want to, like if anyone wants to reach out to me, I have LinkedIn profile. You can find me on LinkedIn, and yes. Like I have also Instagram. So like if you want to add me like anywhere, like feel free to to just text me like whenever you have like some questions. Maybe not right now if you like anything comes to your mind, but later. Then feel free to find me somewhere.
Yeah, sure. You guys can text in the, I don't know, channels. We will share your Telegram, maybe, if it's okay.
Okay.
Your
Yeah, makes sense.
Instagram, LinkedIn,
Okay.
like anything. And also,
Okay.
if it's not that fine to find your contact actually. If you find in LinkedIn just your name, you can find it. That's easy. Okay, I think I will now end the webinar. Thank you once again. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you.
everyone. I will now end it. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.